Hi, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in here today. Today we're going to be doing a nice little fun video for you guys. So let me have them graphically run the colors across the screen that you'll need to paint along with me. While doing that, let me tell you what I've got up here on my easel. I have my 16 by 20 inch canvas, and this is one of my last paintings from my last live stream. And I completely allowed the painting to dry completely. And as soon as I finished it, I saw things that I didn't like. So what we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna change those little things and make it benefit us. So we're gonna start with the waterfall. Usually waterfalls, it doesn't look like this. If we're trying to go for a more realistic approach, usually there's rocks underneath and then you see the waterfall. So that's the first thing I want to attack before I forget. So we're gonna go ahead and go into a little bit of Van Dyke brown. Just go into a nice, good, healthy roll. And all I'm gonna do is just boom. Some people who'd watch this probably say I'm ruining it. I know some people in my friends or family might, well, maybe not my friends since they're closer, but close people to me might think I'm ruining this painting. But they're little things we gotta touch up on. So just adding in brown, and you want to get as little paint as you can because we're going to be adding more layers on top. So you really want to minimize all the amount of paint you're putting on. Still going to be the same concept. I'm not changing the concept. All I'm doing is changing the look to hopefully make it look more better, more realistic. Let's add a little bit more black to my Van Dyke brown. And wherever I think a little bit of darkness would hit, there you can kind of shape it and get something loosely with it. And let me pile that up to the side so we can have it for later in case that we need it. Let's grab a nice good 1-inch brush and just pull that paint. Now, if you haven't watched the live stream, make sure to go watch it so you understand what we're doing here and you understand how we got to this place. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and leave a like on this video. Helps you guys, and put on your notifications. Helps you guys stay alerted when I do a live stream or something. And truly, live streams I do them because if you guys have any questions or anything, that's the time. So just cutting a roll, nice little marbled color, and just, okay, there we are. And I remember the top one was kind of at an angle, as you can see. So no texture. Okay, you can kind of just blend it out little by little. There we are. Okay, now we can just grab it, just mist it out a bit. Now I remember the bottom one, it was straight down, so gotta follow the way you did it the first time. That way it kind of matches everything. There, very gentle. Most of it's gonna be covered with water anyways. If you don't like it, you can always put the blue on top and like nothing ever happened. There. Just like that. A little bit of brown. A little bit of white. Cut a roll, maybe right over here. There, just kind of let it fade out. Okay, now let's go ahead. Let's grab a nice trusty flat brush. And all I'm gonna do is we're gonna go into a little bit of phthalo blue. Pull it out, have it on the palette to the side. We're gonna go into a little bit of alizarin crimson, very little. A little bit of Van Dyke brown, a touch of cadmium yellow, slightest touch. I don't want to overdo it because a lot of the colors are more subdued and toned down. A little bit of black, a little more brown to that, just to kind of calm the color. Now we can just go ahead and add in our little grassy color. Over here is gonna go our grass, so I'm just evening it out. Just make it nice and even. You know what? Let me make a pile of paint. That way I'm not struggling. A little bit of those colors. And instead of cadmium yellow, I'm gonna try with sap green to kind of get more. Just try to get a better effect out of it. There, a little bit of white. Well, first I need dark color. Then we can go into highlighting. Okay, load up the brush. And let's come up here. There. Just wherever you think this starts to happen, you just plop it in. Let's go ahead, a little bit of cadmium yellow, okay, and the slightest touch of brown, just to kind of dull it. We need dull colors, because with the dull colors, when we add highlights, they stand out like a nice hidden gem. So you want to save your highlights. There. All right, around here, just dapple on a few little bits. There. Just a few little. I'm just coloring it because if it does show, you want to have it there. It's like how they say better safe than sorry. We're gonna grab pure well, not pure. Ooh, that would have been bad. Now that I'm looking at it, we're gonna grab this bright green and just ever so lightly just tap it. And we're thinking where the sun would hit. And that's a bit too vibrant. We'll knock it down with a little bit of blue. Maybe a little black as well. Maybe a little Indian yellow. There. Okay. A little bit of blue again, cadmium yellow, I mean. And just wherever you really, really truly believe the light would hit it. Just using the flat brush, maybe just right there. And we're gonna blend it out right now so it's not too bright on us. I'm tapping very light in the center because I don't want to have it too bright in there. I want that part more subdued. Now, I got this messed up old fan brush, and I like it because it'll give me these crazy looking patterns. Okay, and I could just, with tapping it, it'll give me this nice, funky, grassy look. There. Let me go ahead and add a little bit more black to the color and just darken it up over here. Maybe needs a little bit of brown in there. Okay, and just by tapping it, because the more the vibrant it turns, the less you're gonna see backwards. It's just gonna come out more to the front. So you wanna kind of just have it subdued. That way it shows up better. There, just tapping a few little bits. Okay, we got that cleared out the way. Now, let's go with the waterfall. that's the that's the make or break part. Maybe just we see a little bit just to kind of break up that straight line of like dirt and all that. Just a bit. And also just calls the eye a bit more. There. Okay, I like that. It looks already a bit more intriguing than what it did before. Okay, so now let's get back to our waterfall. Let me clear up a space even before I do anything. So, the screen, you might need it actually. This brown, I can dispose of it. I can always make up a new brown. I'm okay with that. So let's go into our phthalo blue. We're gonna add in white. Now, if I were to use this is too vibrant and it'll kill all the hard work I did already. So I'm gonna tone it down with a little bit of alizarin crimson. Just tone it down. And maybe a slight touch of brown in there. Just the slightest touch. A little bit more white. Okay. So now I'm gonna pile up the paint as you see right there. And let's go ahead and we're gonna grab a little bit of liquid clear. Now I have a small flat brush going on here. So a little bit of liquid clear just to thin it out, because a thin paint will stick onto a thicker paint. And so let's come up here and let's decide. So I know it's blending right now, but I'm trusting the process right now. And I'm also kind of just eyeballing where I want certain things. There. It would lay on there for a bit. There. Just a little. You could clean off your brush a bit if you really desire. There. Shoom. Just pull it down. I know it doesn't look good right now, but we just have to, or I just have to trust it first. You guys are like, we. I just have to trust it. And most of the times when I'm trying something new, it's the same thing where I just have to trust the process. And if it doesn't work, I just let it dry and really just try again. There's no there's no bad thing about it. You just learn off your mistakes. If you choose to ignore what worked and what didn't, that's something else. But if you learn from them, then I don't consider that a mistake because you learn from it. You got something out of return. There. There we are. Few little things just shoo. There. So doesn't look too good right now, but you just gotta trust because I see a lot of artists kind of do it different ways, but every time I try to take away their secrets and learn it real good, they always cut the video. That's why anytime I try to learn something, I try to show you guys. So a little bit more blue just to make it a bit more vibrant. I try to show you guys because I don't want to hide things. I don't want you guys saying, well, I could have learned something, but he hid them. So it would bother me hiding something from you guys. There's no point in teaching you guys if all I'm gonna do is hide things from you guys. There, just a little lighter blue with liquid clear. I don't know if I have liquid white. Oh yeah, I do. That might help a bit. There, just clean off that little background. Make it look seamless in the background. There we are. Just cut it off and add those little ripples. Grab a little bit of the liquid white. Usually liquid white works better for me than liquid clear. I don't know why. And a few little, not even liquid white wants to work today. There. There we are. Few little just scribbles on there. Just the idea of little scribbles. That sounds funny. There. Just kind of flatten that out because it would get there and kind of relax a bit before it falls again, in my opinion. If you think it falls all the way down, go for it. You can make it fall all the way down, but I think for this painting, it doesn't fall all the way down right away. It takes a little bit. It's a two-step. That's why there's two for me. There. There we are. Few little things. There. You guys can do it if you really put your mind to it and just give it a shot. I like to come in here once in a while even if the cameras aren't on. Just give things a shot, because sometimes things work and we don't know until we try, or until someone tells us, but that someone has to try. So I prefer getting credit than someone else. So just a little idea to float in your mind. Just give things a try. You got nothing really to lose. You can always just wait until your painting dries, go over it, and you're good to go. Really. Look, that looks better already. I honestly prefer this for the style of painting, because if I had the mountains of Bob Ross and all that, then the other method would suit it better. But since it's like a different look, same concept, different look, then you have to change things up a bit. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, just really mush a little bit in. Look at that. Now, we're not done quite yet, but it's getting there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out a bit white and little touch of that blue. You can't have pure white, because it's like the black. You don't want to get rid of your best highlight or best shadow. You can go lighter, but don't use it right away, because you get rid of it. It's like you giving it away. Okay, and just a little bit, little white highlight where you see the foam kind of just coming together. You can also tap it. I think that could work too. There. But what would make it easier is if all of it was dry and we didn't have to paint over the rocks. Whew, that would be so easy, because then there's no mud mixing. But after what you see here today, that's the final product. I'm not gonna go back and be switching it. I don't want to spend the whole month on this painting. But that's to show you, even if you spend hours on hours, or if you spend 10-15 minutes on a painting, doesn't mean you're gonna like it or it's gonna be your best one. It just happens, and you can't overthink it too much, because if you overthink it, then it's not your best painting. There. A little bit more white. Just load it up. Just come up here and really add a little bit of highlights. And some light would cast right over here. Okay. There. A few little things. Now, me personally, after I saw everything, I didn't think this would suit it, the way the foam looks. So I'm gonna go into a little bit of that blue color that we mixed up with our 1-inch brush. And I'm just gonna come in here and just really add in blue to kind of cover up for that. Had a little bit of brown, that's why I got polluted. There. You can always hide your evidence. Have you just kind of come in here and change things up. No one ever knows until you're gonna sell your painting. There. Let me pile up the paint to make my life a bit easier. There. Just little better paint. There we are. Let me grab a little bit of the liquid white just to thin it out. And we can add all that paint over here because that other blue was not suiting it. At the moment, I did think it was good, but after I saw it completely, I said, "Yep, nope, that's not how it's supposed to look like." Okay, so now what we can do is we can go ahead and we can add in the foam to make it look more interesting. So, you know what? It's a bit plain. Need a little touch of blues here and there. So I'm gonna just tap a bit there. Just tapping a little bit of blue. And if you don't like it, again, you can change it. There's no commitment. I just want a little bit more pigmentation because it looked too plain. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's grab our little flat brush and we'll load it up with a little bit of white. And we would see a little bit of foam, just a little bit. And I'm just kind of tapping down a bit. But it's off in the distance. We wouldn't see much of that foam. And I'm just gonna cut it off right around there. If one of your foamy areas gets cut off, you can just add it back in. There we are. Okay, we can go ahead if we really wish to and grab a little bit of brown, a little bit of white, and let me grab a little bit of ivory black just to tone it down, make it look like in the shadows. There, that matches that color. Not perfectly, but better than this. And all I'm doing is kind of hiding the evidence of the foam that used to be there. There we are. Little tricks you can do. Okay, let's go into more titanium white. We'll grab some of the blue. We put it to the pile with blue. We put a ton of titanium white with that blue pile. Mostly white though, but it's not pure white, if you can tell the difference. And just come up here. We'll cut in a few little water lines so whoever's looking at the painting knows where the water begins. There. Cut a roll and just shoom. Act like you're trying to cut a piece of meat or something. with a dull knife. There we are. Okay. I think I like that. Now, another thing I didn't really like was that I was saving the contrast and this kind of blended in. And I want it to stand out more. So what we're going to do is add more dark color so it stands out even more than what it does already. So I'm going to grab a good old trusty fan brush, number 6, and load it through ivory black, pure ivory black. Shoot, maybe a little green, I like. Little ivory black and the green color we were using earlier, but very little. And I'm just gonna start somewhere in the top. You don't have to start exactly. And all I'm looking for is just more darker tree leaves. That way it has more contrast. The darkness will stand out against those lighter colors. And plus evergreens are pretty dark. There. And usually this happens to me because since there's so many colors, the black blends. And with it being dry, you can honestly just get in more color without it blending. Look, it's starting to blend with that blue color, but it's alright. A little bit of cadmium yellow, a little bit of sap green, a little bit of phthalo blue, and just load up your brush. And we'll come up here and ever so lightly, just boom, just like a mid-tone, really. Gotta do a little tippy toe here right now. There we are. That easy. And it creates more contrast now. No more cadmium yellow in there. And we can just add a few little sparklers. And if they get too bright on us later on, we can go ahead and darken it. It's just the process of putting it and get a feel for it. There we are. Let me wipe the brush, step back a bit. Yeah, some parts are a bit too dark for me. So I'm gonna go into a little bit of dark color and a little bit of blue. There, and just kind of blend it out just by tapping and adding a bit more color. That way it's not too bright. There. Okay, so I felt the same way with this branch that I got too lost. So we're gonna go ahead and add Van Dyke Brown on my flat brush. And we're gonna come up here. Okay, reload it. Boop. And this time I'm gonna add more shadows. That way it creates more contrast. Boop, boop. There we are. There. Now, let me go into a little bit of ivory black, and we can add a little bit more shadows, and the paint will blend out. There. Just little things like that help bring it out. We'll grab the last bit of my Van Dyke brown, a little bit of white, just a little bit, and we'll come up here and we'll highlight it a bit. You can tap and kind of slide with it, or you can just slide the paint however you like. Oops, touch a little bit of that wet paint. I forget what's wet and what's not. Oops. I'm just gonna tap it. I like the texture when it's tapped. Look at that. Ooh, gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Few little taps here and there. Okay. Now, last thing before I sign off. Right here, even though it's in the distance, we still need better highlights. So we're gonna go with our flat brush and just a little bit here and there. Just very, very little. Just to indicate there's more light hitting it. There. But don't cover up all your um, base color. And you can smudge it and really work that paint in. There. And let me just fix a little bit of the water lines. There we are. And I think with that concludes today's video. I really hope you enjoy it. And if you have any paintings, I hope this inspires you to try to fix any of your paintings that you're not satisfied with. I'd like to wish each and every one of you the best of luck. Enjoy your Wednesday or whenever you're watching this. And I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care, my friends.